Hello and welcome to another episode of Night Talks as we give you a young perspective.
Yes, hello and welcome back to our fourth episode. As you remember, I am Shakil and this is my co-host Haikal, and we are here to bring you a new episode. So yeah, Kal, can you bring us what
Yes,
we are going to talk about today?
sure. But before we start the live show, we would like to give our du'as, our prayers to those who are in Palestine and those who in the COVID-19 pandemic, right? We want to give 1 minute of silence, all right? So I'll be doing the dua. أعوذ بالله من
Alright,
الشيطان
go.
الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولوالدينا والحكمنا وبين صغيرة. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from insanity, leprosy, and evil diseases. Oh Allah, help and protect the people of Palestine. Oh Allah, ease the pain and suffering. Oh Allah, bestow your mercy on them. Oh Allah, open people's heart to give in this time of crisis. Oh Allah, help those who are in need, whoever they may be. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين آمين يا رب العالمين. We hope our brothers and
Ameen.
sisters in Palestine and those who are in this pandemic will hopefully uh, hopefully be in good conditions. Right. So before that, before we start the show,
Yes.
before we start the show, there's always one thing that I've always wanted to say on this show.
What
There's
is
always
it?
that one thing I
What
want to
what
say.
do you want to say?
Crikey, we have somebody from England.
Yes, we do. We actually do. Would you
Yes,
so
we
are we gonna
actually.
introduce this person right away or do we have to keep the
Well,
suspense and
before we
stuff?
introduce person, let's give a suspense for this person because she's very unique, a very unique person
Yes,
indeed,
she
right?
is.
So she is, yeah. So first of all, she's an author of two lovely poetry books, which is an Ocean of Grey
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
A Weave of Dreams. I personally read them,
Oh
and
my
honestly,
gosh.
oh, it was heartbreak. It was just so nice, heart touching. Honestly, I want her autograph right now, like literally.
So you found your
But
books
yes,
fascinating.
I find her books fascinating, and she's also a senior of mine and also a friend of yours. Please
I see.
welcome Kamalia Hasni.
Woo!
Hello.
I welcome.
Thank you for that very lovely and unexpected introduction, Haikal. You make
Yep.
me sound
So how
like
are you,
I'm
Kamalia?
like from
Mm-hmm.
England though, which I'm not. I
I
am
mean,
Malaysian.
you're not technically from England, but you are in England right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Broad sunlight for me right now.
Yeah, he looks very happy. And by the way, nice dress you're wearing today.
Thank you. I thought I'd dress up a little bit for our Eid theme. And I see you guys have dressed up as
Yes.
well.
I mean,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, Haikal already outdid me by a mile, but anyway, I'm still following the theme of the show for this episode. But
Definitely.
yeah,
But I mean, Shucks definitely look very fantastic with that kurta. Oof.
I
It just
mean,
suits you, man.
thank you very
It
much,
just
and
suits your
you
vibe, I'm just
with the
saying.
whole Malaysian songkok team and everything.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
smart.
as well
Yeah.
as
I'm having
yeah,
my
of
pride here.
course, everyone's looking
Yeah, it is.
very nice tonight. So yeah, welcome
Mm-hmm.
to the show, Kamalia. How are you?
Thank
Everybody's suiting the
you.
theme. Welcome.
Hmm.
Yes, how are
I'm
you,
very
Kamalia?
good. I'm very good, thank you. Not much to update, but I am very excited for today's night talk. I'm very excited to share about my experience with Eid over here with you guys. Although,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, we'll get into that
Sure.
later. But yes, go on.
Alright.
Yeah. We'll get into that later. Right. So I think let's give a little introduction of who Kamala is, which I kind of give a little introduction already. She's an author of two lovely books, which I still hopefully if we can meet one day, I want your autograph. But
For sure.
but not only that, she's also married to a Pakistani London-born husband, which is pretty cool.
Mm.
It is pretty
Yes.
cool, yeah.
And today we brought her today. We want to explore what is yes, it is pretty cool. We want to explore the diversity of Eid, how she explores a different culture in celebrating Eid compared to us Malaysians. Because we Malaysians usually celebrate with rendang, with um, with fireworks, all that stuff. But
The
Kamalia is a
usual,
bit different. She has a new exposure to she has the new exposure to I guess Pakistani culture, right? So it'll be really interesting to delve into that topic, right? So let's move on to the first question of tonight. Now,
Yeah.
I know you've married to a London-born Pakistani.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. So what does it mean to you to be what does it mean to you to be a part of a family from a different culture?
So do you mean generally or in terms of like Eid?
Well, in terms of generally for generally.
Oh, okay. So what does it mean to be married to a person who's from a different culture? It's a very interesting question because at first, to be honest, my husband and I, we kind of agreed that we're not very, you could say, traditional or cultural people very much. Like we're just we're just kind of like normal, if that makes sense. But when it comes to family, I would say that our families can be quite traditional, and my husband's family in particular, I would say that they're quite like cultural and traditional when it comes to the Pakistani culture, although they have been living in the UK for pretty much most of their life. There is one thing that I just want to say early though. The things that I share today might not really be representative of the Pakistani culture per se, but more accurately, it would more likely represent the British Pakistani culture, which I think there might still be a little bit of difference because I think Pakistani, British Pakistani people have kind of made things their own a little bit. So I don't really know if it's purely from like the Pakistani culture or if it's like something they've made their own that they've kind of like intertwined with their own British culture as well, if that makes sense. So I just want to put that out there.
Yes. Okay, we completely understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely understand
that. It's a lot of sharing between me and my husband's family. A lot of like comparing certain things in our lives. I think the most I guess one of the biggest things that I first experienced with his family when it comes to like culture is probably when we were getting married, and you know, wedding planning and things like that. It was a little bit I guess challenging because there are cultural differences, and sometimes they might not be doing things the same way we do, and we don't do things the way they do. So there was a little bit of difference there. But like I said, like I'm not very cultural sangat, and my family's quite chill, so we kind of just like worked it out very nicely. So yeah, sorry. What was the main question again?
Well, you actually answered the main question, which is how does it feel like to be a part of a family from a different culture?
Yeah. It feels great. It feels like I'm always learning.
Yeah, it definitely feels great.
About them, and it's exciting. Yeah.
Do you think there's like any similarities between Malay and the Malay culture and also Pakistani culture? Any similarities, any differences that you think that are unique?
I don't know, because I see more. I guess it's easy to see differences than similarities, because similarities might not be like a cultural similarity. It could just be like a norm, you know, like everyone.
It could be like a norm.
Yeah, but when it comes to differences, it's mainly in like food. Food is a huge difference. Is that a big difference, actually?
I believe so.
Actually, it's not too big of a difference, because it can be rather similar to Malaysian food. It's just what I've noticed is Pakistani. You know how Malaysians eat everything with rice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pakistanis just replace that rice with roti. They call roti, but it can be like paratha, naan, but roti in general. Yeah, they eat that with whatever we want to eat with rice. That's one big thing that
Whoa.
Yes, I haven't really been eating rice very much, to be honest.
So I have a question. So like
Hmm.
during your wedding, when they serve, obviously they serve Pakistani dishes, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
And did they serve anything related to beef or chicken that is somewhat the same dishes here we have in Malaysia? And also, which one is better in your opinion, the Pakistani dishes or Malaysian dishes? I
Oh,
Ooh, this
really
is
would
tough.
like
yes,
to
This is a
my
know.
tough.
husband's
Yeah.
This
not
is a
here for
tough
me to
question.
answer this. Um, they do have. Okay, so I think like some Pakistani dishes, they're very similar to Indian dishes.
Mhm.
For example, like there's Indian butter chicken, right?
Ooh, okay.
But there's also like
Delicious.
Malaysian butter chicken, which is something we're more familiar with. It's the sweeter.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking
Mm-hmm,
about, like
mm-hmm.
Malaysian butter chicken. So
Yeah,
I
Buttery.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
prefer Malaysian butter chicken compared to Pakistani/Indian butter chicken. But for some other things, like curries, I think it's just because I've grown up with it and I'm more used to it. I do prefer like Malaysian curries.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
See.
yeah, but I do love I do love their cuisine as well. My in-laws always cook so much and so much like variety, and they just keep me very well fed, and I really enjoy it. Yeah, it's not so much
You
different.
know what?
It's actually like a lot of the food that you might find at Mama. Like it's somewhat similar as well.
I
Yeah.
see. Well, of course,
I
the
see.
Mama
I
people are
see.
some of them like Pakistan owners and
Yeah,
origins. So yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. I mean, talking about aunts, how they feed you a lot. I mean, I think that's the same thing as Malaysian aunts when they like come to houses, like
Yeah.
go here, here. Yeah, yeah. They
You
just stuff you
just
with so many
eat
food.
more. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah. You
want to
just eat
say
more.
I want to say that's a similarity in our cultures then. Like
Yeah, that is a
auntie
similarity.
vibe and the very accommodating, welcoming.
Mm.
When you have guests in your home, they go all out. Like the other day, we had for a couple of days after first of Eid, we had a guest coming over, and my in-laws went super all out. Like they were ironing tablecloths, putting all their best.
Wow.
Padahal there was only
Wow.
3 people coming, and 2 of them were kids, and I'm just like, they're not gonna notice all these small things, but they're very like serious, like they
Mm-hmm.
want people to feel welcome in their home. And I think that's very similar to our Malaysian mothers and our family as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Of
Definitely,
course, of
So
definitely.
course.
coming for Raya, for Eid, for anything actually, they're very like they want to make sure that you leave the house with Tupperwares of food. Um, and that,
That
you
is so
eat more than you
relatable.
actually
That
want
is so
to.
relatable. That is so relatable.
Yeah.
My God, I kind of miss Raya, like going out. I haven't
We
met
haven't
Shak
had
yet, by
Raya
the
in
way.
2 years. Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't
Oh,
man.
even met
Oh
Haikal.
God.
were you guys just
Yeah,
at
just
home then this Raya?
Yes, we
yeah. We're just at home. Yeah.
just home celebrating by ourselves. It's been the
Oh,
second
Yeah,
year
really.
of Cov Eid, as they said. It's like a new trend
yeah.
of saying.
I'm
It's
wondering,
a new normal. Hmm.
before I came to the UK, like Raya for me has kind of been the same thing every year. And to be honest, I kind of got a little bit bored of it, like the same thing every year.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I'm just
I
really?
wondering,
see.
like, did you guys ever feel that way? Like, you want something different or new kind of thing?
I mean, if you think about it, basically Raya, what we do in Malaysia is just go back to our hometowns and meet the elders and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
what would you think would like be different to celebrate Raya? What would make Raya more interesting than just the usual go back and meet the grandparents and stuff?
Hmm.
I don't know. I think back then I wish like maybe this Raya we would spend it somewhere else, or I didn't actually know. I never really thought about it. I was just remembering like I just want it to be different. But now like being here, being away, I miss it all. I miss the how I guess boring it was. Whilst I was growing up. I miss it so much. Like that's the thing about being away from home and being away from your family. You become more appreciative of what you don't have anymore. And so that Raya vibe with your relatives, the waking up in the morning and hearing people cook. Kantoy, I wasn't the one cooking. All the people getting ready for Eid in their baju raya, my little cousins all running around. So I miss that. And actually during the first day of Eid, because I was away from all that, the thing is, if you want to have a sense of Malaysian Raya here, you have to do it yourself. If you want the food, you have to make it yourself. No one's going to make it for you. So for me personally, it's not Eid without having some masak lodeh, the yellow one. People also call it lontong.
I see.
Yes, lontong. Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
not my
not Raya
preferred
without
favorite,
it. So I decided to make it myself, like in the morning. And while I was doing that, I was putting on Hari Raya songs on Spotify. There's like a playlist of Raya songs, and there was just a moment that I was just pondering about like my family and stuff, and I just got kind of emotional.
Oh no!
Yeah, so that's what it's like. That's what it's like.
That's what I see. I mean, like it's new experiences, new life challenges when you go to a different country, right?
Yeah.
So Shah, I think you want to take the second question. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Go on. No. We can move on.
All right. So moving on to our second question, we're also wondering. So how has this experience celebrating Eid in a different country and culture shaped you as a person and also as a Muslim?
Actually, I think I kind of answered this just now, but just to directly answer it now, it makes me more appreciative of the Malaysian Raya traditions, like how I get bored before. Now I'm just like, oh, man, I wish I was more in the moment back then, when I was experiencing this. But also I am forced to do things myself now if I want to experience it, like cooking some Raya dishes, putting on this music. But as a Muslim, I want to say that it makes me very grateful, first of all, for what I had before growing up in Malaysia and experiencing Eid in Malaysia. But second, I'm also very grateful that I get to still spend time with family. So although I didn't have my own family, I still had my husband's family, and they are very, very welcoming. Like my mother-in-law, she asked me to blast out the Raya music out loud. So
Wow.
That is fun. Yeah.
That meant a lot to me as well because, I think she just wanted me to feel more, feel a bit more of home, I guess. And that meant a lot to me to have people from my new family welcoming that. And I did cook masak lodeh in the morning, and some of my family members tried it. I don't know if they liked it or not. They didn't really comment, but it turned out that they wanted to try it, They were very welcoming for me to cook in the kitchen of something that I grew up with. So yeah, generally as a Muslim, I feel like there's a lot of gratitude when it comes to this kind of experience.
I see. Well, thanks for sharing your insight on that. It's very interesting to know, actually.
It is very interesting to know because it's very rare, like to see people uniting from different cultures, and usually when I see that, it's very nice to see, like two different cultures emerging to one, trying to embrace
That is
the
true.
the human element that we have, which is even though we're different, we're still united as one.
Yeah.
Because yes, it's really, really, really touching for me. It kind of reminds me of Nick Jonas and his wife.
Priyanka Chopra.
Priyanka.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah,
the
but just like
best
that way around.
wedding. Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
I agree
yeah,
with what
but like-
Haikal says.
It kind of looks like it that way. But like the Malaysian version of it. But yep.
We're not
All right, I think
celebrities
let's
like
move
them, but yeah.
But you're not a celebrity, but you are a very inspiring woman, of course.
Oh, thank you.
So anyway, let's move on to the to the third question, which is how do you keep the Malaysian identity alive away from home? So, as Malaysians, right? When you move to a different country, you don't get to experience the Malaysian life back home, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes we do get away with changing our personality and culture in the same time.
Mm.
So how do you, as an individual, try to keep this Malaysian identity that I am from Malaysia?
I think first of all, if I do something to, I guess, that's quite like Malaysian, right? Over here, it's mainly for me. It's mainly to remind me that I'm Malaysian and I guess remind me of home a lot. So one of the things, and the short answer is food. You can't run away
Food.
from food if you've grown up with it your whole life. And so that's one thing that I try to do every now and then if I can. I just want to say, if you guys follow Khairul Aming on his Instagram and Twitter, he is a lifesaver for us living abroad. Like, he makes cooking Malaysian food or just cooking in general seem more easy than it is. And I followed a lot of his recipes just to feel a bit more like, just get a taste of home, And I love sharing that with my husband as well. Sometimes when I cook something Malaysian and I want him to try it, and when he likes it, I get very, very excited. When he doesn't, I'm like, that's okay, more for me. So that's one thing I do, like make sure that I cook Malaysian food quite often. Mostly for me though, because I miss Malaysia. It's been more than a year since I've been back, so yeah.
How long have you been in the UK?
I've been back here since 2020 January.
Oh, so that was like
So
a
you
few
stayed-
months before everyone locked down. So yeah, you were lucky
it
to
was
get there.
months before lockdown. So
Yeah,
I've been wanting to come
definitely.
back, but it hasn't been the right time,
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Back to the question that I've been doing to, I guess, preserve the Malaysian identity is I still wear baju kurung over here. So on the first of Raya, my husband was wearing a shalwar kameez, which is the Pakistani, like the Pakistani baju Melayu lah, you could say. And I was wearing kind of a baju kurung. It's a very modern baju kurung, but still you can tell it's like Malaysians can tell it's like from Malaysia, I guess. So I really like to wear like last Eid, I was wearing a Pakistani like dress while my husband was wearing a baju Melayu. And so this year we reversed it. So I was wearing like a Malaysian thing, he was wearing a Pakistani thing. And actually when we got married, he was wearing a Pakistani suit and I was wearing a Malaysian style baju kurung as well. So that's something that I like to do to, I don't know, for myself, for other people to see that we are from these two, we are proudly from these two different cultures. And
yes.
Yeah. One last thing that I can think of that I do to preserve the Malaysian identity is speak Malay. Or Roja.
Oh, definitely, of course. That's the most basic thing.
So you obviously like have taught your husband some few Malay phrases.
Yes. I have taught him a little bit. He can now very fluently count to 10 Malay. But I can't count in Urdu. Unfortunately, I'm very bad at language. I struggle with that. But I have, like, sometimes when you speak, like, things come out, And so my husband's been able to, like, pick up on some of the things and use it back with me sometimes.
Ooh.
So
Okay, I mean, if you don't mind, we would like to hear one of those experiences. Yeah. Have you ever, like, Yeah. Have you ever used lah? Like,
that's used lah.
I use lah a lot. I mean, one thing that my husband has used in his vocabulary now is jom.
Ooh, okay.
Whoa,
that is one of important stuff to use, yeah?
Jom makan.
Yeah, important stuff. Jom makan. Jom lepak, I mean.
What about Pakistani words though? What is like the common Pakistani words?
What words did you pick up?
Yeah. It has to be both ways, obviously.
I mean, it should be both ways. What are Pakistani words I picked up? I don't know, to be honest. I can't think of one.
Oh no.
But actually, there are a lot of words that are the same, actually, Malay and Urdu words. Some of them are similar, especially if they've got Arabic roots. So
Uh-huh.
things like,
Aha.
what's an example? Okay, random example, sabun.
I was thinking of that
Mhm.
as well,
Yeah,
actually.
sabun,
For some
cadar.
reason, since sabun is Arabic as well.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
there you go.
I'm just saying. But yeah, oh, I see. Oh,
Okay.
so I just learned that Pakistani language isn't actually called Pakistani, it's called Urdu.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's a new thing to learn.
I
Uh-huh.
think actually, I think that's just one of their languages.
Yeah, they have a lot of languages over there.
I
There's
think
so
Yeah,
there's
yeah, they
much.
have a
a
lot of
couple.
languages. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know, talking
it's
about, but they're they derive from India, right? Like Pakistan, then there's like Bangladesh. You know,
Yeah, it's like a
yes,
am I
two
right?
mixture.
Or am I
other
wrong? Yeah,
countries
yeah, yeah,
nearby. So I think they have
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
influences with each other.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. But of course, actually, when not talking about it, I kind of want to talk about the history of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. It's actually quite interesting, but that'll be too long to talk
That'll be
about.
too long, and I'm not the person to talk about that.
Don't look at me, Carl. I don't know nothing about that.
I know a bit, but like, but it's interesting. It's an interesting, but it has some political stuff in it. But like, it's okay. Um, but yeah, it's a very interesting history. You guys like from the viewers, you should go actually read up on it. It's very interesting.
Hmm.
Yep, read up on it. But well, thank you, Kamalia, for coming on the show. It has been
We appreciate it.
yeah, we appreciate it. It was very insightful to get your insight. Being married to a Pakistani man, well, Pakistani London-born man. So we really appreciate you for coming on the show, and we hope for the best for you in the future.
Thank
Yes,
you
we
so much.
do.
Thank you for
Yeah,
inviting me over and for letting me share my experience. I hope you guys had a great Eid, even though COVID for you
Ah,
guys. But I hope it hasn't been too bad, and at least I hope you guys have been with your families.
oh, yes, we have.
yes,
Yeah.
that's important. That's important.
Appreciate it.
Before we end, talking about Kamalia's question that she gave to us, right? About
Mhm.
how do we feel Raya has been very boring? I kind of realized that every year for me, Raya has always been very interesting.
Really?
I always come back with a new perspective because for me, my family, we don't really tend to see each other very long.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like maybe like a week or so, and then we go back home and then do our own stuff. So for me, like coming back to celebrate Raya is always like a new perspective to see how has everybody grown,
Mm.
how everybody has changed. It's always interesting to see those perspective, and also it's fun to celebrate with new friends as well, in new districts, because maybe once I go back to UiT, or maybe you come back to Malaysia, we can finally have a mixed
Actual
hot
Raya,
pot of,
yeah.
yeah, actual Raya, yeah. So yeah, I think for me, Raya has always been very interesting and always been a very insightful one for me. Yeah.
I see, I see.
That's good.
Right.
That's good.
That kid. That's enough from me. So I think we should end it right now. All right. So you can. So for those viewers who are still here, for those who are UiTM, please do fill in the form down there. Give us
Never
feedback,
forget you
of
get
course.
free.
Yeah, you can also get your e-activity by filling by filling the feedback. And also, if you do want to support our show, please, like I said, give us feedback, because we want to improve each and every episode so we can give you the best content for you guys to listen to.
It's always a pleasure
Yes.
doing one of these episodes, guys. So
Well done, guys.
Yeah, it's always a
do
pleasure.
give
Like,
us support and give in your feedback. And also not to forget to follow us on our UITM Instagram page as well. Also leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys love the content that we are giving you every 2 weeks. So yeah. Anything else to add, Cal or Kamalia?
I'm
yeah,
good. You guys can
kind of.
follow me on my
Oh,
Instagram
yeah,
if
and
you want to.
also follow
I do.
Kamalia. Mhm. Yes. And also want to highlight that if you want to know how Kamalia's life about, you can read these books, obviously. An Ocean of Grey and A Week of Dreams.
Thank you.
I really
Thank
gotta
you
read
for that
one of those
promo.
books.
I mean, it's really very insight. I mean, if you like guys like to read about romance a bit here and there and poetry, obviously you should read this book, these two books. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. And remember to fill in the feedback, subscribe, press that bell button,
To get
and
more
yeah,
updates on the episode. So
we'll
yeah, we'll
we'll
see you
see
in the
you
next
next time. The
episode.
next yes, get what? Yep. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, Hari Raya, guys.
Selamat Hari Raya.